Hey guys, Captain here. Today I'm bringing you some more of my LEGO Pokemon. I've built some from the Hoenn region. Today I have Breloom, Flygon. I've got a few smaller ones as well, kind of like the last Kanto video I did. I've got a Roselia, very unstable one. I have a more stable design as well that I'll be showing off, and a very small one, a Lotad. Now normally I don't reveal stuff like this so directly, but the Kalos starters have been my most requested video by far recently. I think like every day I probably get about one comment requesting them. It's been going on like that for a month. I'm definitely building them. I was in fact hoping to have this be the Kalos starters video, but I haven't finished designing them yet. So it's going to take a little bit of time. Hopefully next weekend I can make that the video. If not, it'll have to be 2 weeks from now, but hang in there. I'm definitely doing that. So anyway, with that, let's get started on the instructions for these Hoenn Pokemon. I didn't really intend for there to be such a green or such a grass types theme, but 3 of them are grass types. Anyway, I guess let's go in the order I showed them off. Let's start with Breloom. So normally when I build my LEGO Pokemon, I try and build them in some kind of scale relative to each other. I try to keep it pretty close. Breloom is definitely bigger than it's supposed to be, but I still think it turned out really nicely, and while I might have been able to scale it down a little bit, I'm happy with it, so it's going to be slightly oversized. Now, I guess let's start with the body. So, at the core, not unlike a lot of LEGO Pokemon I've built, a trusty Travis brick. And what you'll want to do is take a green headlight and stick the back of that onto the side of the Travis brick. On top of that, take a 1x2 green 45-degree slope, and then another green headlight facing downwards so the back of it sticks down into the top stud of our slope, and so that the actual headlight part faces upwards. And now what you'll want to do is you'll want to take a 1x3 plate in green, take one of these smooth curved 1x2 slope pieces, center the slope on that 1x3 plate, and you'll want to stick the lower part of the curved slope on the side of the Travis brick, or the front side, I guess. Now in the back here on this headlight, you want to stick a dark tan dinosaur tail piece, and then on top of that stick a round 2x2 green plate. Now for the legs, what you're going to do, build 2 of these symmetrically. Start with the green headlight. There are a lot of headlights used for this because I got a lot of these green pieces off Pick-a-Brick walls. Again, when I was building Rayquaza a while back, I just stocked up on a ton of green pieces from the wall, and so that's how a lot of these came about. Stick a green cone downwards, and then take a green jumper plate. Now there are a few ways you could do this. You could do this with green 1x2 plates as well. I think I used a jumper plate just because I had it lying around. And then stick a red grill into that. A tile would work okay, but I think a grill looks a little nicer. And then angle these sideways. Build them twice so you've got 2 legs, and stick those into the side of the Travis brick. Alright, now what you want to do is we'll build the arms. So we're going to take, again, 2 green headlights. We're going to take one of them and stick them onto the headlight piece of the other. And then we're going to stick 2 green studs onto the headlight of the headlight sticking into the other one. It might just be easier to visually recreate what I've got going on here. And then you'll want to angle a red piece to be a hand, like this. And what's going to happen is you're going to stick the headlight into the back of the 1x3 brick like this. Since you make it twice, you've got 2 arms now. And for the head, what you're going to do is you're going to take a tan stud, toss it into the underside of a round 2x2 tan plate. In the middle here, you'll want to toss another tan stud on top. This might be tricky to do just like that, so what you can do is you can take a tan headlight, stick that to the underside, place that in, and now in the tan headlight, you're going to stick a tan cheese slope, angled like this, to make the shape of the head, and then a green dish on top to make the little mushroom cap. And then stick that onto the centered headlight on the body, and Breloom is complete. Alright, I'm pretty happy with how Flygon turned out, although I think the wings could have been done better. The one thing though, if I had built it differently, I might have ended up using just about the same design as Stormbringer. Stormbringer is someone who built a lot of LEGO Pokemon a couple years ago, and was one of my original inspirations for starting making LEGO Pokemon. He's got a lot of them up on Flickr and stuff. And so, if you look at some of my earlier Pokemon, I've got a lot of elements of his style with a lot of illegal connections, and then I kind of turned it into something more stable and playable. But anyways, he built a Flygon at some point, turned out pretty nicely. Mine's a little different. So, what you're going to want to start with is take a 1x4 lime green plate. And, oh yeah, the reason that I'm not crazy about the wings is because I built these just out of pieces I had lying around. I had just acquired a lot of lime pieces over time, and it was enough to build Flygon. So, next you'll take a lime 1x2 brick with a Technic brick with 2 holes in it, not just one, and center that on your 1x4. Take a lime modified brick with 1 stud on the side, and stick that on the back, and then a 1x2 45-degree slope, again in lime, on the other side of that. And then let's hold this together with these 1x2, probably 30-degree slopes. They're definitely smaller slopes. They've got these little ridges in them. That doesn't matter so much. But just hold that together that way. Makes kind of a nice curve for the body. And then the front, closer to the 45-degree 1x2 slope, stick 2 of these dinosaur fang, or not dinosaur fang, but these like tooth plates. And those are going to represent the arms. These maybe could have been done better as well, but Flygon actually has pretty small arms, so I think they're fine. And then in these other holes, stick green 1x2 45-degree slopes. These are going to act as the large legs, and then for the feet, angle some lime plates coming off of these slopes. Now in the back, in the modified brick, stick a lime dinosaur tail, and then a green cone, a red stud. It won't go down very far, so you'll know when it's pressed in place. That'll be the tail. For the wings, again, this part I'm not very happy about. I've got 2 of these inverted bracket plates in green. So stack one on top of the other, and then in between the studs of these brackets, you'll take lime wedge plates, 2x3 wedge plates. Those will be the wings, and try and get them about the same height. So one will be just a little too high, one will be just a little too low, and they'll be about the same height. And then stick that also centered on our original 1x4 plate. Now for the head, take a lime stud, put a lime cone or a lime cylinder into the underside. Take one of these lime, I think I learned the name of this at some point, but anyway, these 1x1 plates with the little double stud thing hanging off the sides, and on the actual studs of that, translucent red studs for the eyes. And then I used a green hinge plate, a 1x2 hinge with the rigid kind. Stick that in the back for the rest of the head. And this will go in a pretty obvious position in the underside of this 1x2 slope. And so there we go, Flygon is complete. Again, overall, I think it turned out pretty nicely, but there are definitely improvements that could be made. It's a little bulky, and it's not perfect. Alright, so as I mentioned, I have 2 different designs for Roselia, one of them which looks a lot better but is not stable at all, and one of them which is much more stable but doesn't look as good. The head's going to be the same for both, so you'll take a grass piece and you'll put a lime stud on top of that, and then a green stud on top of the lime stud. And then for the unstable version, you'll take a lime cylinder, toss it into a green Travis brick, and you'll take a red lever, put a red stud into it, and a blue lever, put a blue stud into it, and you'll basically just have these levers hang out the sides of the Travis brick. And as far as I can figure, there's no good way to hold these in place The head will just go on top. And so the roses basically always face downwards. If you get an extremely precise angle, you can have the roses kind of angle up, kind of. And it's very hard to do. And of course these just can fall right out. Right now I think they're a little interlocked. You can kind of wedge them in there. Now if you're willing to just bend the levers, yeah, you could achieve a lot more stability, but see, this isn't great. But it looks a lot more like actual Roselia does. And the other design I have, much simpler. You take a lime stud and toss it into a lime cylinder. You put in the bottom of a green headlight. You take one of these 1x4 curved round slopes, and you stick that into the back of the headlight centered, and just on one side you place a blue stud or flower if you can get your hands on one, and then a red stud or flower, much more common, and the head on top. Again, this one's really stable, but doesn't look so good. Looks pretty lame. So up to you what you decide to do with Roselia. I've wanted to build it for quite a long time, actually, and this was just a dilemma I couldn't get over. And now, since you guys enjoy some of the small Pokemon I build, I've got a really simple one for you. It's Lotad. I actually once built a really large-scale Lotad when I was a kid, but I figured out a nice micro-scale one. You'll take a blue headlight, lay it on its back, stick a yellow cheese slope onto what's normally the top side, and then you'll take a green round 2x2 plate, and you're just going to stick this little contraption into the underside of it so that the stud of the headlight goes into the center of the round 2x2. And because of these little edges here, it should fit pretty comfortably on top of our cheese slope and our headlight. There you go. That's it. Just 3 pieces for Lotad. Anyways, if you liked this video, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please rate, comment, subscribe. Send this to your friends. Check out my other videos. And I will see you guys next time.